guys are amazing. In Sydney, I had to yell for a minute before I could get anyone's attention. You guys all just sat down. It's my pleasure to introduce Alicia Van Schoonhoven, who's here by my side, as always. I was actually just asked, how long have I known Alicia? And my initial response was, too long. But now that I think about it, I think it was about July 2016 when she was in the running for Miss Grand International. I first met her through pageants. I've interviewed a few pageant competitors, and Alicia was one of them. And she'll go more into her story, obviously now, but at the time I didn't know that she was going through hard times. I think that's one of the things that struck me about mental illness, even given the very limited, because I'm very aware there's people who have a lot more experience than me dealing with mental illness, but given the limited experience that I've had, you just don't know who's suffering from it. There are a lot of people. I would, just a show of hands, who here knows someone, it might be yourself, but I won't get you to say it yourself, who here knows someone who's suffering from some form of mental illness? Okay, so if you have a look around the room, there aren't many hands that are down. Now that could be themselves, that could be someone they know, probably very, very closely. But it's one of those things that it's very hard to pick. If you look particularly at a pageant girl, you don't probably jump straight to that person is suffering from depression and anxiety or an eating disorder, but you just never know. So I initially reached out to Alicia about being part of the Fear to Freedom project, and she very graciously said yes. I'll let her tell a story, but what I will say is this. When I was finishing up the book, and this is not in the book, when I was finishing up the book late last year, about September, October, I myself was going through an extremely hard time. I think it's fair to say I was close to suicidal myself, and the irony is not lost on me that I was writing that book and I was not in a good place. At the time, Alicia happened to be staying with me in Sydney for a personal development conference, and I was very lucky that she was there. And I say that because she didn't try to, and this is one of the things I said in the book, she didn't try to fix anything. If you are someone who's ever suffered from any sort of anything, especially women, if you're going to your guys and you go to them and you just want to be heard and they immediately try and jump in and fix stuff and that really annoys you, right? Alicia didn't do that. She was just there as a sympathetic ear, and I think it's a testament to her character. I'm sure there are a lot of people who can say a lot of good things about her. So I won't take up any more of her thunder, but I can't think of anyone more that I would want more by my side. I mean, we've done a lot of late nights together, a lot of sleepless nights. Yeah, Alicia actually edited the book as well. But without further ado, Alicia.
So, first of all, I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. I think many of you I actually know on a personal level, and it means the absolute world to me that you're here tonight. So, as Adrian said, we've known each other for quite a while now. Probably, I agree, probably too long. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So, before I get into the project stuff, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this sash is about, because most of you probably know, being my close friends and family, what Miss Galaxy is all about, because this is actually my third time running for the title. But for those of you who are wondering about all these beautiful girls and sashes, Miss Galaxy Australia is a pageant that's focused on community work and volunteering. So it's all about giving back to other people and, you know, doing selfless work, all for other people. So we are involved in lots of community work. We go out into our community, we volunteer. I've volunteered for about 30 different not-for-profit organisations since I started pageants in 2013. And it's such an amazing community. All the girls are lovely. All the girls are so genuine. And everyone just wants to help other people. That's what it's all about. It does have the modelling aspects to it, so we are judged on stage in different categories. We're interviewed, more so to see the character of the girls and, you know, what they want to do to help other people, what they want to do to make a difference for other people. So like I said, this is my third time running for the title. I've competed in 2015 and last year. Last year I came third runner-up, so I'm in it again for this year. And the reason I think there's a lot of people who don't know about pageants, don't know what it's about, and sometimes people get the wrong idea when I say that I'm in a pageant, but it has given me so many life skills, it's unexplainable. I mean, one of the skills I now do for work, which is public speaking. So a few years ago, I remember when I did my first pageant in 2013, I was petrified to stand in front of a microphone, say my name, say my age, and a fun fact about me. I kind of mumbled something and then ran off stage because I was so petrified. To now being in front of you today, a little bit nervous, a little bit shaky, but I'm okay. And I now work for an organisation, Helping Minds, which Debbie is here tonight representing our organisation, and I actually go out to high schools and educate high school students about mental health and mental illness, which I absolutely love doing. So that's what the pageant's all about. It's all about helping other people and just getting out into the community. In terms of this project, this is something that I got involved in, I think it was back in May. We did the interviews here in Perth.
Yeah, about May or June.
Yeah, so it's been a while. So this was before I was involved in the pageant this year, but I've made it part of my mission as a competitor for Miss Galaxy Australia. I want to help other people who have been through similar experiences as me and let people know that's okay to not be okay. So Adrian asked me to be a part of the book last year, and I immediately said yes because I thought what he was doing was absolutely incredible. And then I kind of thought about the fact that I said yes, and I'm like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? Here I am going into an interview with about 3 cameras on me, talking about something so personal that I haven't told many people before. And it's going to be published in a book that's out there forever. I can never get those books back. So when it kind of hit me what I was doing, I was absolutely petrified. If I'm completely honest, telling my story was one of the scariest things I've ever done, but it's also one of the best things I've ever done. So in 2016, I had a really difficult year. I went through, there was just a number of things that I went through. It was just one thing after another. And I started isolating myself from friends and family, stopped, there was times where my friends would invite me out and I made excuses as to why I couldn't go out because I was too anxious to go out with them and hang out with them because I didn't want to have to pretend like I was okay. So things like that, there was so much going on in my life. It wasn't any one particular thing that pushed me to that, but it was just one thing after another, and I found it so difficult to deal with, and I didn't want to talk to anyone about it. I actually talked to a good friend of mine who encouraged me to go and talk to someone professional, and also my brother, who was there for me throughout the whole time. He understood, and he also encouraged me to go out and seek some professional help. So I actually reached out to my university. They offer free counselling services, and I didn't have a very good experience at all. I was very fortunate though that I had made a second phone call before I went to my first appointment, because when I made my first appointment it was a 3-week wait, and at that stage I couldn't wait 3 weeks to talk to someone. So I actually made a second phone call to Headspace, but they were a 3.5, 4-week wait, so it was even longer. But I made both appointments just in case I had some feeling that that was the right thing to do, and that was good because my first appointment was very difficult, and I had a counsellor who didn't really, just a completely different demographic, didn't understand what I was going through, and I didn't really relate with him, and I came out an absolute mess from that first appointment. But I had this second Headspace appointment, and I was too anxious to actually call them and cancel it, so I had to go. And that was the best thing I ever did, talking to someone. And I'm not ashamed to say now that when I need to, I still go there if I need to. Just having someone to talk to, and having someone who listens, that's not personally involved in your life, that you can talk to, let everything off to, and you know, they can guide you in the right way. They don't try to fix things for you, they just try to help you and get you back to that right pathway. So that's what I went through. It's, you know, it was depression and anxiety, and the depression was something that I think it will always sort of come and go for me, but it's something that I think I've battled the worst of it. The anxiety, I still have periods where I get so anxious that I find it really hard to function. And being someone who's in a pageant like Miss Galaxy Australia, people often find that very hard to believe. I was actually in the local paper earlier this week, and this morning I had a phone call from my neighbour who had absolutely no idea what I've been through. And she called me and she goes, I just saw you in the paper last night. I had no idea what you've been through. Like, you are such an amazing person. I've seen you do this, I've seen you do that, and how can you have anxiety or depression? Like, how have you been through that? Like, I don't understand. I've known you for this many years, and you know, I was talking to my husband about it and I had absolutely no idea. And I guess that's my point. I guess that's why I told my story, because people don't expect that from me. I've done lots of amazing things and I'm grateful for the life that I've had, but I have had challenging times. I mean, I'm still human and I still have difficult times. People just sometimes see the surface level. And I'm sure some of the pageant girls here can also relate to that, is that sometimes people don't realise, they don't see past the glitz and glam. They don't see that we're human and that we feel pain and we go through difficulties in our life. So that was why I wanted to tell my story, because I want to know that it's okay for anyone not to be okay. I mean, even sometimes I forget that. The other day I had some bad news and I was a bit upset about it, and I kept saying to someone that I'm okay, like, don't worry, I'm okay. I was crying, but I was okay. And they said, you know, it's okay not to be okay. And I said, oh yeah, I tell that to everyone else. Often forget it about myself. So that's my biggest message, is that anyone can go through it, and it's okay if you're not okay, it really is. And there are so many support services out there. We're very fortunate to have some support services here tonight that you can interact with. You can grab some brochures. And honestly, the best thing I ever did was talk to someone. Let someone know that I wasn't okay. Because if I didn't, I don't know what would have happened. It would have kept spiraling down. Because I'm someone who likes to keep stuff in. I don't like to show a vulnerable side of myself. And I had to let go of that to overcome what I was going through. And honestly, it was the best thing I ever did. And being involved in this project has given me so much. Just hearing, I've had so many people tell me that they relate to my story, that they've been through similar things. And honestly, I think it's just a part of life. We all have anxiety about different things, you know, on different scales. We all have pain, we all have difficult situations in our life. And it's all about learning how to overcome those situations by learning different techniques to deal with them. Okay, there's so much that you can do to overcome that. So I guess my message to you all is, if you are in a difficult position or you know that someone else is, speak up. You know, just letting someone know that you're there for them as well. If it's not yourself, if it's someone that you know that's going through a difficult time, just let them know that you're there for them. You don't have to fix their problems. You don't have to, you know, just listen. That's all you have to do to help someone. Encourage them to go get support, because it's the best thing that they could ever do. And if it doesn't work out the first time like it didn't for me, there's other support services out there. You just have to keep searching until you find the right one for you. That's all from me. So thank you so much for listening to my story, and to all my friends and family. I really appreciate you being here tonight, and everyone else that has come along. Thank you for supporting myself and the other 9 beautiful women that have been involved in this project, and my good friend Adrian as well, who's made this all possible. Thank you.